The Skytube's morning light was bright as it shined down on Lake Orsk. The clear waters of the immense lake glistened in the light, and the waves lapped at the banks. Grasses lined most of the bank, except for the smooth trail which went all the way around the lake. There were some ducks and geese which walked along the trail, and they waddled about, making their morning honking and quacking sounds. Ben loved to run in the early morning. He was fit and athletic, and besides reading, running was one of the best ways he could spend his time. He knew he had to get his run in before school started, and by beginning early enough, he could run the course he had in mind. He could not hope to circumambulate the entire shoreline of the Lake Orsk, but he did have a running path that he frequented. The first half of his path took him out into the highland evergreen forest, which started not far from his home on the outskirts of the town of Orsk. He ran. He breathed in the deep and refreshing scents from the forest. He watched as several rabbits bolted to get away from him. 2 squirrels who were not as afraid, and they leaped and frolicked among the evergreens. The squirrels then ran up one of the few and scattered deciduous trees to hide behind the leaves. It was good to run, and Ben's legs moved without his conscious thought. His athletic shoes slapped the path with practiced ease. While Ben liked the pine trees, the smells and the sights of the forest animals, his favorite part of the run was coming back along the shores of the lake. Except for on a rainy day, Ben could count on a beautiful sight as the fishing boats moved slowly out into the lake. The birds would fly over, and the clear waters of Lake Orsk would shimmer under the Skytube's glow. So as Ben rounded the trail and ran out from the forest, he was surprised as he saw something lying on the edge of the water. It was a dead sturgeon. Its grayish, almost silvery coloring, along with its long and extended-looking front, and the top fin and tail being close together identified it to Ben's mind. Its tiny eyes and whiskery blunt snout were pointed at the Skytube. "That's a big fish," Ben said to himself as he ran past. He counted the paces and estimated the sturgeon to be around 3 meters long. He could not guess its weight, but knew it was one of the largest he had ever seen. He kept running, but seeing the floundered fish was disappointing. At least it did not smell yet. He was glad of that. He picked up his pace a bit as he considered that some wolf or perhaps even a bear might come to feast on the deceased sturgeon. He looked ahead on the path and saw something else up. It was gold and black-colored. "Another sturgeon?" Ben asked himself. 2 in one day. This is odd. As his run brought him closer, he realized it was not another dead fish, but a machine of some kind. As he ran up to it, he halted. He took a few deep breaths and walked slowly around and toward it. The machine was boxy, with a gold and black body. There was a stump on one section of the box part where some kind of equipment or attachment had been broken off. There were large cracks in the permalloy sides of the machine, and its fins, as well as drive wheels, were connected on only one end. The opposite side, where matching fins and wheels should be, was crushed. The tracks in the sandy mud showed that the machine had pulled or driven itself out of the water, but then quit on the land. "That is a Watney," Ben said in surprise. "A ruined underwater automocube. But why is it wrecked?" Ben felt a touch of uneasy nerves as the 2 incidents were so close together. He rushed off and ran as quickly as he could. Normally he enjoyed a sprint, and pushing himself for speed was a joy. However, this morning he did it as a necessity. He knew he had to report what he had seen,